If you don't ground this movie in reality, then it's a genre artifact. And we wanted it to feel real. The first thing to do is to actually have every frequency of wardrobe possible. You know, a lot of period movies make almost uniforms. We had a kaleidoscope of characters. So Luis Sequeira and I started talking about it, and we said, well, we wanted to have cardigans, leather jackets, people that worked as mechanics, people that worked as executives. We didn't want everybody dressed like an ad from a catalog.
This film is quite huge. I mean, just in the carnival, we have 242 costume changes, probably another half of that in the city. So it's a lot of clothing, a lot of costumes.
He fabricated an enormous amount of wardrobe. Even with these restrictions, this is an incredibly fabrication-heavy film for Luis and the wardrobe department.
We built so much on this film, and then an important part of any Guillermo movie is the aging of the costumes. And so even in the city, the costumes were aged so that they went back from costumes to clothing. And in the carnival, everything was pretty beaten down to give it the feeling that people have owned these garments for years.
Luis Sequeira and I had a big meeting in which the boundaries were defined that we could build most of the wardrobe for all the main cast.
Guillermo wanted very few costume changes, so each character from Stanton down to our minor characters would have a very specific, iconic look.
We wanted to classify and understand the characters very, very fast. Molly was a life, was red. We abandoned the color red when we leave the carnival. And it exists only on Molly and the Salvation Army sign. Xena had greens and golds, sort of life, earth, grass. You know, she was earthy.
Luis has done the most incredible job with all of the costumes. This is actually my favourite. This is a particularly kind of tomboyish travelling outfit. And then, yeah, she looks very different in the performance mode, almost priestess-like.
The faux was black leather. It was hard and flinty and uncaring, but seductive.
Very early, Luis started experimenting with things, and I did quite a few fittings, and he's very precise, and he also lets you weigh in to make you feel comfortable.
Kate and Bradley and our other actors were brought in early where we're able to actually craft a look.
It's always a relationship that I really prize. When you start having costume fittings and that dialogue about how a character's going to look, there's such important physical propositions that you then have to inhabit or adapt.
For Kate, the room was elegant, and so the character was also very elegant and affluent, old money. It was exciting to actually design clothing that showed that, and the textures and the lines. Being able to dress Kate Blanchett in one's life, I could die now, thank you.
We're going to work on that.
As for Stanton, he really goes through a transformation from being quite poor to being quite rich. We looked at various, iconic styles that would help to tell that story very quickly. There were instances of cut and drape and fit.
That's the one.
Yeah. What was important with that was that Stan looks like a helper. He looks like a helpless. He looks like a master, a powerful figure, a preacher. He is very much a mercurial character. He can transform according to the circumstance.
Can you watch my tie, please?
I'll watch it.
Thank you.
Stanton has a certain dandy aspect that you will not see in this old money crowd.
Let me take your jacket, please.
Stanton being just on the other side of, not garish, but just a bit nouveau riche. Visually, between the sets, even the hair, makeup, costuming, we were able to create these two polar opposite worlds. Everything matters, whether it's seen or not. If it gets to be seen, then it's got to be as perfect as can be.